I was just sitting there. I wanted to see if I could do it. And you did it. Wow! Thank you so much, Dean, for those kind words that I told you to say. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I think you can. Wow! What a thrill to be here tonight to host the first ever award show for political nerds. Finally, an award show for people who not only know who Paul Ryan is, but, if they're honest, admit that he's kind of sexy. For those of you non-nerds in the audience who don't know, Paul Ryan is a congressman from Wisconsin who is hot. They know what I'm talking about in the back. All right, but tonight is not just about any political nerds, folks. Tonight is about undergraduate political nerds. Look at these fresh young faces here in front of me. Tonight, we celebrate Americans who are old enough to vote, but young enough to still believe that their vote actually matters. Their dreams and ideals have not been ground down into oblivion. That's what grad school is for. Especially this fine institution, the Graduate School of Political Management. A school dedicated to giving you the Machiavellian tools you need to claw your way to the top of the Washington power cabal. Finally, a graduate program where you can embrace your inner Karl Rove guilt-free. But folks, I'm not just here because I love political nerds and making fun of them and making fun of their nerd schools. I am here to say, proudly, that I am a political nerd myself. Now, you heard some of those credentials earlier, but I want to show you some tangible proof. This is one of my most prized possessions. Does this mic work too? It does. I'm just yelling, maybe. Look at this. Look at this. Thomas Dewey for president. How awesome is this? Please, give it up. It's hard to roll up again. It's very... I should have had it laminated. But that is the coolest thing I own. Now, for some reason, my wife makes me keep this rolled up in our closet because she will not let me put it up in our bedroom. She is sitting right over there. Maybe some of you can talk to her after the show, convince her that it's cool. I figured if anybody would understand, it would be you people. But enough about my domestic problems. This is supposed to be an award ceremony. Are you ready for the first presenter? Oh, that was pretty. You know that MCs never let you stop at one, are you ready for, right? So are you ready for the first presenter? For nerds, that wasn't bad. So let me present and introduce to you our first presenter, Mr. Ed Henry of CNN. Now, we all know that Ed, as the White House correspondent, or as that guy with the face. Seriously, folks, look at this face. This is the most earnest-looking face in all of journalism. Am I right? I am. Now, we all know Ed is a great reporter for CNN. But I wanted to do a little reporting of my own. So I went to Wikipedia to get the facts. And I learned some amazing things. Did you know that at age 16, Edward Henry started taking evening classes to prepare for the Indian Civil Service exam? As a matter of fact, Ed served as the commissioner of the London police. He was a pioneer at using fingerprints to identify criminals, and perhaps most shockingly of all, he died in 1931. Now, this hard evidence can only mean one of two things. Ed Henry is a zombie British cop, or this Ed Henry, our Ed Henry, does not have his own Wikipedia page. How is this possible, Ed? How can you not be on Wikipedia? You're easily CNN's 29th most popular reporter. Even Jeannie Moose is on Wikipedia. She covers cows on the internet. You cover the White House, Ed. The White House. So I say to you tonight, my fellow political nerds, we must rectify this situation at once. As soon as you leave this room, pull out your iPhones and do what must be done. But for now, let's hear it for CNN's Ed Henry! All right. Now our next presentation is a tag team duo. And this is a powerful one, folks. First up, you've got Heather Smith, the executive director of Rock the Vote. Rock the Vote! Heather and I actually go back a little ways. In February of last year, we were actually, this is true, we were actually on the Montel Williams show together. And not because we had some kind of crazy emotional relationship that can only be healed by a psychic. It was to talk about young people and politics, which is what Rock the Vote is all about. Now, I know that some people out there say that Rock the Vote is just another liberal arm of the Democratic Hollywood propaganda octopus, but that is simply not true. Rock the Vote empowers hundreds of thousands of hip, sexy young people to make their own choices, whether they vote for Barack Obama or Ralph Nader. Now, this organization brings together some of the hottest celebrities in the world to push for young people voting. Folks like Christina Aguilera, Fall Out Boy, and Jamie Foxx. But Heather, if I had to make one critique of your organization, it would be that perhaps you're just too focused on the rocking. I know you guys have a lot of hip-hop celebrities too, but why should we pigeonhole the diverse youth of today with just rock and rap? For example, why not get some country stars on board to deep fry the vote? You could get a symphony orchestra to bach the vote. Or you could recruit the tuba people of southern Siberia to throat sing the vote. Think about it, Heather. There's a lot of young tuba and throat singers out there who just need a little extra motivation to go to the polls. And I hear that Kongar Al-Ondar is still very much available for endorsement deals. There's no Kongar Al-Ondar fans in the audience? Ah, give me a break. Tough crowd. All right, Heather will be joined next by Chris Malagisi, the Director of Political and Internet Training at the Leadership Institute. And he also heads up the Young Conservative Coalition. His job is to train conservative candidates, activists, and officials to turn this country red again. And I don't mean in a commie way. And who better to shape these supple Republican minds? Chris has worked on some of the most successful campaigns in recent memory. John McCain, 08, Fred Thompson, 07, and George Allen, 06. But let's get serious, folks. Come on. I do not blame Chris Malagisi for these Republican flops. You don't blame a man who's trying to bail out the Titanic with a teaspoon. You say, good job. You gave it a shot. You're a winner just for trying. Oh, I'm sorry, you're a Republican. You probably just say, have a nice swim. Ooh. Oh. But folks, I think I know what really happened. Chris was distracted in the last few campaigns because he's been focused on his music career. This man has released not one, but 2 piano CDs and is working on a 3rd. Check out his MySpace page for yourself. This is 100% true, and you can listen to his original songs, 3 AM and Hope. Apparently, Chris has created songs based on catchphrases from the Democratic campaign. He also has a song called Tranquilized, based on how he felt after every Fred Thompson speech. Time to break out of the stupor. It's Chris Malagisi and Heather Smith!
This is really funny. Just keep giggling.
All right. Our next presenter, Paul Monteiro, the Associate Director of the White House Office of Public Engagement. Now, this is the office that serves as a liaison between community organizations and the Obama administration. This office is so important to our national welfare that they hired Kumar to work there. Yes. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the actor Kalpen Modi, also known as Kal Penn, known for his titular role in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, is an associate director at the White House Office of Public Engagement, just like Paul. Now, Paul, I don't know if it sticks in your craw that you labored in obscurity as a Senate staffer and a campaign aide for years and years, only to be outshined by the star of such films as National Lampoon's Van Wilder, Malibu's Most Wanted, Dude, Where's the Party, Son of the Mask, and Bachelor Party Vegas. But Paul, you shouldn't let that get you down. Because even though Kalpen Modi may be the actor, just remember that you are definitely a better looking man. Am I right, folks? Look at this man. Let's hear it. So let's hear it for the man we will all be sucking up to for jobs after this awards ceremony, Paul Monteiro. All right, our final tag team. This is it, the last award. Final tag team of presenters. And it starts with John McConnell. Now, John, I found out that you were going to be one of the presenters just a few hours ago, and I was worried. How will I effectively mock this man with so little time to prepare? Then I remembered that for the last 8 years, you were a speechwriter for Dick Cheney and George W. Bush. Not only that, you started your White House career with Vice President Dan Quayle. What can I say, John? You are a speechwriter who loves a challenge. But John, this carcass has frankly been picked clean. Every possible joke about the Bush administration has already been made. And if we ever forget, we'll always have Jay Leno to remind us. So even if I could, I'm not going to go for the easy laughs because that would be a quitter's way out. You didn't write that one too, by the way, did you? No, okay, just checking. Instead, let me implore the audience here tonight, please, take some pity on this man. 1 year ago, he was sitting in the most powerful office in the world, Dick Cheney's office, and now he's being roasted by a guy who was born the year before he graduated from college. It must be humiliating, but probably not as humiliating as having people ask what you did for the last 8 years. Now, John will be joined up here tonight by my very main man, reporter Luke Russert. This 24-year-old media phenom covers youth issues for NBC and MSNBC. But this man knows that you don't report on the youth by sitting in a cubicle or making phone calls or writing anything longer than 140 characters. This man is not afraid to get his hands dirty in the places where today's youth congregate, whether that's the collar-popping clubs of Georgetown, the hot, pulsating dance floors of Adams Morgan, or the brandy-soaked bars of the U Street corridor. Luke Russert will do anything, to understand what today's youth feel, think, and talk about when they are 5 beers deep. Now, I know many of you are undergraduates here today, under 21, and have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's why Luke's reporting is so important. But Luke is not only dedicated to youth, he's also a sports fanatic. Everyone knows he's a fan of the Buffalo Bills, which means he always has plenty of free time during the playoff season. And he uses that time wisely. He co-hosts a sports talk show with James Carville on Sirius XM radio called 60/20 Sports, the only show on the radio named after its target demographic. These two political luminaries decided to start a sports talk show because apparently politics just didn't have enough bullshit. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Wow, Luke Russert is the Bob Costas of our generation. But the rest of you are thinking, how? How is this man even allowed at our political nerd award show? He is not one of us. He loves to party. He loves football. He probably has friends. But I am here to tell you, that Luke Russert is just as big a nerd as anyone else in this room, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Please welcome them, Luke Russert and John McConnell. Being the MC here tonight, as you know, many times politics is a zero-sum game, but tonight, I feel like everyone is a winner, especially me, because I got to make fun of a lot of people and hardly anyone said anything back. So, here's the deal.